Hey, Teresa. Hey, April. How's it going? Oh, I started a few minutes early, guys, because I wanted to go ahead and feed the fish. I have fish back in this tank again. Isn't that crazy? I know. Look at that. I'm so excited. I actually made a live stream too, so I feel like that's an accomplishment. Oh, hey there, April. Oh, as y'all can see, this tank's got kind of overgrown. And the water's finally clear after like 3 months of trying to figure out what I did. Hey, Grace. So let me get started by feeding these guys, and then I'm going to talk about a few things. And uh, I was supposed to break this tank down today, but then I was like, if I do that, um, it's not going to be ready for the stream tonight. So I had to kind of put some stuff on hold, and I got to chase Peter out of here again because he came back for a while, and they're not they're not doing so good together anymore. Penny and Inspector have officially decided they are not friends. So let's get these guys some food in here and get these little fishies up to the screen. I believe these guys are endlers. They were sold as feeder fish, and I got them because I was afraid to put fish in this tank because I let a whole bunch of fish die in this tank. So I was really, really uh, optimistic about putting them in here. They really like this one corner of the tank right here, and I think that's because I have airflow coming in right there, or not airflow, but the inlet from the one of my little hang-on backs is on here. So I'm just gonna move this over to where we can see them a little better. I've got like 15 of them in here. Hey, Claire. Um, Juju will be here, I'm sure. I started a little early, so that may be why they're not here yet. I did. I jumped the gun. I was like, you know what? I got everything set up. I'm just gonna go ahead and go live. I'm waiting for Fishner to get here because I have to show him the other thing I did today. I did a thing. I did lots of things today, but didn't finish any of them. So uh, I got some plants that I am in the process of potting up for the tanks. I'm gonna clean these plants up in this tank tomorrow. That's number one goal is to get this tank looking good again and get little Peter into his own tank. And you know what's crazy? Like okay, yeah, I did a lot of things part of the way today. So each one of these fish cost me about 50 cents. If they had been sold as the fish they were, they might have been a little bit more expensive than that. Um, hey, Mippet, good to see you. But yeah, I just wanted to see, wanted to make sure that the uh, so me and Fishner think that they are a crossbreed between Endlers and Guppies, and they've got the smaller characteristics of the Endlers life bearers. So they're like Guppies, just smaller. And I've always wanted Endlers. They're just really normally expensive to get. So by buying the culls or the feeders, yes, well they are. Um, yeah, the hummingbirds said they will not eat any of the fish. They promised. Their beaks are just a little too small. Hey, Squab, thanks for stopping by. Uh, they they're in the same species as the guppies. Um, and just like the Skippy I had were a different type of live bear, but still in that same almost guppy type of family. Like mollies, platies, all of those are all under the live bear umbrella. Swordtails. Yeah, the bees are just too big for them. So I've been waiting for the hummingbirds to show up since the beginning of April. Normally, that's when we start seeing them. And I was getting kind of concerned because I wasn't getting any hits on the cameras. I wasn't seeing them, nothing. And Wednesday, me and Mr. Mousy went outside to grill some hamburgers for dinner, and he gets almost smacked in the head by a hummingbird. That's how we found out they were back. And they were like, "Could you please refill those feeders?" And then that's when I noticed that one of the feeders was completely empty, and they were like not happy about that. So far we have, I think it's three, two girls and a boy that are coming by the camera feeder, and they'll be kind of territorial about their feeders, but pretty soon there'll be so many of them here that it just won't matter. They'll just eat wherever there's food. They'll be like, "This is mine for right now," and then it's gonna be like, "No, everyone's just gonna eat." So yeah, but yeah, I'm serious pruning on that sword plant tomorrow. It's got some leaves that need to come off. I will use a combination of both sugar water and the hummingbird food. I don't like to use the red colored hummingbird food anymore. I used to use that years ago, but the clear, from everything I read, is better. It's the red dye. It's not good for anyone, I don't think. But tomorrow I do have to go, especially the camera feeder. I've got to adjust the tilt on it, and I need to refill that. So gonna do that tomorrow. I got 17 hits on it today, and I've got to go through all the footage and check and see exactly what I caught, because I also keep catching a wild sister-in-law on the camera. And it's kind of funny because I'll get a notification and it'll say incoming bird, and I'll check it, and it's my sister-in-law walking to the back of the house, and I'm like, "You're not a bird. I get it. You've got chicken legs, but you're not a bird." Um, I probably need to put it on Instagram. So let's see, Wednesday. Okay, it's Saturday now. Wednesday was the day that we noticed the hummingbirds were back, and I got the camera actually working and notifying me that the birds were actually hitting it. And then I forgot to actually save the footage from Wednesday, which I was like, no. So I have Thursdays, Fridays, and todays. And I'm trying to figure out how there's got to be a way that I can turn the camera on and live stream that camera. I don't know how yet. There's got to be some sort of software, but I will figure it out. I've not given up on it yet. I'm also thinking tomorrow we're gonna put up another bird feeder and a couple of uh, bird houses on the opposite tree from the bird feeder, and see if we can get some more birds around that one too at the same time. Well, I will try to get all of that up there. I also need to get Ellie, my kiddo in Colorado that has meatloaf. I need to get her to start putting up more content of him because she got when I got the one camera to watch the Pluck OK for me. I was showing it to her and I was like, "Yeah, anytime he moves, it tells me." And she was real hesitant to get one, like a pet camera. And she found one and she got one. And that's how she's getting her some of her meatloaf videos. I'm like, you know, um, it's like you really need to put those pictures up because the minute he hears the key hit her door, he is running to that door. And the other day she had a picture of him, or not a picture, a video of him, where he had jumped on the table. And I don't even know how he got up there. He got up on her table, and I guess he forgot the way he got up. So when he went to go back down, he's just reaching in the air trying to find the chair or the box that he jumped up on to get up there. It was, I was like, oh. And she's like, well, I was about to have to leave work to go get him off the table. I was like, well, at least you have that to, check in on him. I enjoy the birds' tomfooleries too. Like it's fun to watch. We're about to have a pleco fight here. Inspector has gotten real territorial of his tank. I thought the little fishies would calm him down, but it just doesn't seem to have happened yet. I also need to start live streaming this to Rumble. Also, I keep forgetting to do that, and I need to start doing that. Yeah, even the blind cats get on the table. Can't stop him. He's like, I'm gonna go wherever I want. I'm blind. I don't know that's a table. To me, it's just something to jump on. He does not get up on the counters though, because one time he went to jump on her kitchen counter, and he got the part where the sink was. And the problem was is she had the sink full of dishwater. Luckily, no dishes in it yet, but she had filled it up, and he jumped right into the sink full of water. I was like, that would have been a great video. All it took was one sink of water. Didn't do it again. Meatloaf does not like baths. He's not a bath cat. Um, so yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was a big whoopsie. He didn't. Yeah. It almost looks like there's, oh no, that's a leaf. I was like, is there a rainbow in the tank? What's going on back there? But no, that's a leaf. My leaves are actually getting light now that I took most of the duckweed off of the top of the tank. So they're getting all the light now instead of the duckweed taking it all. Oh, you know what? I'm trying to see. Where did I put that? Oh, well, I will find it later. The snails are doing good. We will be, I'm gonna stream the 29 gallon. Probably the next couple of days. Some of the plants in there, I've been having a problem with my 29-gallon tank. And it was real concerning for a minute because I'm like, there's fish in the tank and there's substrate. My plants are not growing. And I was trying not to use liquid fertilizer on that tank because it's got a pretty heavy fish load, right? So there should be enough nutrients in the water column. Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on with the tank, but I had to start using liquid fertilizer on it because some of my plants were dying. Luckily, they were, it was like some of the hornwort was dying off, which really shouldn't die off. That's like the first indicator that it's, something's off with like their nutrients because it that feeds directly from the water column. And one of my Anubias was actually not looking so good. The other one was great, but the one on the wood was starting to die back. So I started dosing that with liquid fertilizer, and it has been doing better. But there's two sword plants in that tank that I am going to take out tomorrow after I clean up this tank. I'm going to take those two plants out and I'm going to add some fertilizer, some like root tabs into the substrate for them. And I'm going to add some new plants in there that I think that'll make it look better. It's going to be more like grasses in the back. I did catch you unaware. Yep. Okay. So I did another thing today besides not actually cleaning this tank up. I was wondering where he was because I have a new plant and I've been trying my hand at potting some of the aquatic plants that I have. Not in like the little plastic pots, but actual terracotta pots and putting them in the aquarium. Okay, I did one so far, but I have some other glass containers I'm gonna do some of the smaller crypts in. That way so I can move them around from tank to tank a little easier. So let me get this moved around and then I'll turn the camera back on real quick, y'all. This is the cool thing about the way we move the stuff around because now if I want to show off the other tanks, all I have to do is turn around. Oh, except I have a cat in my way. So, oh, and Mrs. Whiskers is out, so that's cool. So, let me not drop the laptop because that would suck. Okay. Ha. So, all right. See, there's Mrs. Whiskers and my new plant that I potted. It's looking okay. I know the camera's crooked, but I'm actually holding it. I meant to put a table up to set the camera on, and yeah, I didn't do that. So you get me holding it tonight. But yeah, I literally just have to turn around and bam, tank right in your face. Mr. Whiskers, I guess they had a disagreement about what was for dinner, and he had a hissy fit and tore the tank up, buried his cave. I don't know what all he was doing in there, but yeah. But yeah, that is a water onion. Yeah, I was thinking that pot was a little big, so I will put the other one in the smaller pot that I have. All right, let me move this camera back over here now. But I thought that was cool because now I literally just have to, stop the camera, turn around, and be like, "Hey, look at that tank." And Mrs. Whiskers is still, she's still here. She's under contract not to be on camera too much. We're still renegotiating those terms too. She said if she gets a penthouse, then maybe she'll go on camera more. But I don't have that kind of money for her. These guys are like, we'll be on camera all you want. Okay. Also, the tank that that pot is in is a 10-gallon tank. I need to actually look up the name of that. So that is a water onion. Of all the things to put in aquariums, I put onions in there. But I think that will look good moved over into one of the 29 gallons. And if I don't like it there, I can just move it somewhere else. It is an onion, which I thought you and Juju would really like because, who doesn't like onions? And that is its scientific name. It's right there on the screen. Thanks to Fishner. I was about to Google it, but he got it for me first. I will stumble over scientific names every day of the week. So I will type them out, I will show them off, but so if you type in onion water on Google, you get some interesting results, y'all. Just letting you know. I was like, that's not even what I was trying to go for. Oh my goodness, I lost my stream here. Okay, there we go. Uh, do I need to send you some onions? I can send you some onions, Juju. I mean, I don't mind. We can, you know, we could grow a big crop of water onions in your pool. That would be great. Juju's like, no, no onions in the pool. Everyone out of the pool. I am okay. So on top of the aquatic onions that I am now learning how to grow, Juju said no. No to that one. I knew that was coming. Um, it's the first time I've ever had my green onions and my wild onions go to flower. So that's been interesting to watch too. I just got all kinds of stuff going on over here. I got tomatoes, I've got onions, I've got aquatic onions now. Oh, so there is one of these little fishies that I'm actually going to in a sense, yes. So these the plant that I just showed are they're considered like they're an aquatic onion. Let me get that name. They're Corinium. Yeah, I'm gonna butcher that. I'm not even gonna try that. So let's go up here and do that. I think it's going to be really cool once it grows in because it has these curly leaves. Okay. It's yes, what Fisher said. It's an aquatic plant that grows like an onion. It has a bulb. It was really cool because the way these came, and I should have taken pictures or a video of it. And I will probably do this on the second one that I go to pot tomorrow. It came in rock wool, which is how a lot of the aquatic plants are potted in the little plastic pots. Um, so you have to take that off. But it was a bulb and it kind of looked just like a small little onion, kind of like almost a little bigger than a pearl onion with the roots at the very bottom and then the big onion looking bulb and then the green at the top. It was really cool to actually see it. Well, I mean, it depends on what you read. According to AI, their dwarf water onion plants are not true aquatic plants, but some hobbyists keep them in their tanks because they like the look. I mean, oh, okay. Yeah. So this is the first this is well no, I'm not gonna I'm about to just not say a whole true statement there. Hey trees, good to see ya. Okay, so the water onions are actually my second bulb plant that I have. The first one you're actually looking at on the screen here. That is an Aponogean. Fishnerd was right when he said that that is probably the coolest plant or bulbed plant and one of his favorites. I can see why. And it was because of this plant I knew I had a nutrient deficiency in my 29. So I got three of these bulbs of the Aponogeans, popped them in three different tanks, a plant holdover tank, my 29-gallon, and this 20-gallon. Fishner told me to to pot it, and I should have listened, but I didn't. And I just tossed it in. And the next thing I know, this thing is growing like crazy. And the little bulb is growing roots at the bottom, and it literally pulls itself into the ground. It was the wildest thing to watch. It would have made a great time lapse video if I could have figured out how to do time lapse at the time, because it literally, over the course of 5 days, sprouted those roots, dug them into the ground, and pulled itself down. I was like, plants are wild. It was the craziest thing to watch. Like every day I'm watching more and more and more of this plant disappear into my tank and more leaves popping out of it. It's also how I kind of figured out that I have a nutrient overload or had a nutrient overload in this tank and a deficiency in the other. So the other two bulbs are still real small. And that's going to change because I've got a bunch of little glass pots that I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to pop them back over into this tank and let them do what this one did. That bulb's going to just stay where it is. That one that one's going to just have to sit there and like where it's planted itself. So I was also really kind of worried myself. Yeah, the sword plant's also going to stick right where it's at too. It is going to get a haircut tomorrow. All the dead and dying leaves on it are gonna. I'm gonna nip them off. And yeah, I was last night was so sad because my internet went down and I was so bored. I could barely get my phone um to like send texts out. So I was sitting there and I was like, I pulled out the DVD player and I popped in like one of the 9 DVDs we still have in the house. I ended up watching like 50 Shades of Grey because my sister-in-law had it. Luckily, I had one because I was gonna be real bored last night if I had. Which I mean, yeah, well, we have a PlayStation 2, but that also has a DVD player in it. Oh, um, let me see if I can see it. I need to see where is my light. We had a whole big box of them, Grace, and my sister-in-law gave them away on Facebook Marketplace. Um, I had an 8 track up until 2010, and I was real sad when we lost the 8 track player and the 8 tracks because they were my mom's, and it was like, kind of nostalgic to have it. She had one of those big cabinet TVs, and so it was a TV, like a big tube TV in a cabinet, and on top of it, it had a record player, a radio, a cassette tape player, and an 8 track player, which was really weird that it still had the option for an 8 track player because I think she got it in like 1984, which really makes me sound really old right now. Wow. And the fact that I remember it was those TVs were awesome. I miss those. I'm not gonna lie. I do miss my big old floor model TV. My mom used to get so mad at us for like sitting drinks on it. Like, you don't put your drink on the TV. It's an 8 track. I probably said it wrong. So, speaking of the first TV, we had it up until they phased out all of the when you had to have like the digital TV, or the converter box. My husband was given a little TV for his bedroom, and I think it had actually been his sister's, but that was his first personal TV. We had that thing, and it worked up until like 2012, and I have no idea what happened to it. It may still be in our shed. but it still has all the stickers we planted on the side of it as kids. And it was in like a faux wood grain box, but it was like portable so you could carry it. Okay, so this plant had a spike growing off of it. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop the camera for a second and move that so Fish Nerd can see it. I've got to do a vacuum on this tank too tomorrow, which is kind of why I didn't start any of the work on it today. I'm using my phone. My cousin had a Chevette. I remember those cars. And my sister had a Citation, which was like probably the craziest looking car I can remember, next to a Pinto. Okay. I don't know if Fish Nerd can see it because I really need to vacuum around the base of this plant, but I think it's like right in there. But this thing is growing a spike from it, and we think it's about to start shooting out new plants. But I will get all this bottom cleaned up tomorrow. And oh, let's straighten the camera up, y'all. And let me move my phone out of the way. It kind of was. It's like the Chevette, but with a big butt. See, Juju. Okay. You know what we do here when that happens? We take the TV and then we set another TV on top of it. I'm just kidding. I do not have two TVs on top of each other in my home. Well, I'm also wondering. So I was thinking about that, right? And I wonder if it's not coming from the sword, but if it's actually one of the crypts that goes across the sword, because there's another crypt that popped up on the other side of that sword plant. You can't see it because when I don't have the camera over there, and two, there's not enough light, and three, the sword's kind of like covering it up. No, no, actually, I would just leave it down there. I would never bring it back up. And then one day it can become a dinosaur, and then bam. Oh, crud. What was the little Chevy station wagon? It was like their miniature wagon. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look that up because that's what my mom had. See, now I'm Googling 1980s mini Chevy station wagons. Hmm. It wasn't the Caprice because that was too big. Hmm. Wasn't the celebrity. The Cavalier. It was the Cavalier. Yes, that one trees. It was the Cavalier. We had a little cream colored one. And then my first car that I bought when I moved to Oklahoma was a little gold Cavalier, but it wasn't the wagon version. And I'm trying to remember how long my mom had that thing. Um, because I think hers was in 1985 or in 86. Could have been as late as in 87 though, because she had it until like 1993. It may have been older than that. I'm not sure. But I remember she was not happy when my cousin wrecked it. You are not kidding, Juju, except mine wasn't a brother, she was a sister. And my parents couldn't buy me a car because they had to keep, well, they didn't have to, but they did keep getting her new cars when she would wreck them or, you know, wreck them, get them repoed. Gotta love family, right? Freaking family. My kids are learning to drive still. They're 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 this close to being ready, and they have their driving test scheduled. But I'm real scared for them to be on the road without me in the car. It's like real scared. It's real scared. But, at some point you have to just let them go, let them do their thing. All right, my internet is looking like it's gonna start trying to do the robot thing. The little bar thing popped up, and oh, okay, hang on. Let me go look at Instagram real quick. Let's see what's going on there. All right, y'all. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look at the station wagon real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here for the night before my internet starts start doing crazy things again. It just gets all crazy. Oh wait, here I'm gonna share the screen real quick on this one because this is cute too. So hang on one second, y'all, and then I'm gonna say goodnight. Well, actually, I'm gonna share two pictures real quick before I get out of here. But here's the first one. Everyone, Meatloaf says hello. He says hi. Oh man, I remember those wagons. Oh my goodness, y'all. I remember those wagons. It's like those and the Cavalier, not Cavaliers, but the Chevettes. They had those big, and the Pintos all had those big butts. You wrecked it when you were little. How did you wreck a car when you were little? Okay, I was gonna leave, but now I gotta hear about that one. Yeah, don't let your meatloaf, especially when they don't have eyes. Yes, Americans have a bad habit, cat ninja, ninja cat, cat ninja, of making cars with big old butts. We like lots of trunk space. Hide those bodies. Hey, ninja cat, cat ninja. She did. She swooped on in. Oh no. And you know what? This people is why you never leave kids unattended in a car that is running or with the keys in it. Because just because it's not cranked doesn't mean you cannot put that car into gear. Don't ask me how I know. I bet they were. You could have been injured. You could have smashed a beehive or some flowers. Yeah. um. Well, I have a big butt too, but the cars, we like our cars with big trunks. Like I said, lots of space. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. I will be back soon. I'll keep y'all updated on all of my tank shenanigans that I got going on here, and lots of hummingbirds will be showing up because they're here, and I have cameras, and I'm going to, I'm going to show you how aggressive those little birds can be when they get hungry because they are very aggressive little birdies, but they're adorable. All right, y'all. I will see y'all later. Y'all have a nice night. Thank y'all all for coming. If y'all will do me a favor and hit that like button on the way out. Do those YouTubey things for me. And I will see y'all later. Bye.